Quasi here, and in this video, I'm going to share with you how to upgrade your beliefs and really like how to get from where you are with your current belief system, with this inertia you're facing, the lack of momentum, how to shift your beliefs to a point where forward movement starts to occur. It took me a really long time to figure this out. And the biggest key for me was forward movement in my business, transitioning from my professional corporate career to actually starting up my own business, moving forward with that. And by the end of this video, you're going to learn the 3 keys that really helped me shift the limitations that I had in my beliefs to a point where I could reframe them and have them actually serve the forward movement, the life that I actually wanted to create. I really want you to stick around to the very, very end of this video because this took me a very long time to figure out. Before I begin this video, I want to quickly announce that a few spots have opened up for the free one-to-one consult with me for the Reality Mastery Program. We've been booked the whole week last week, so please wait till the end of the video for the announcement on that. And with that, let's get started with this video. So in this video, I want to talk to you about upgrading beliefs and really like what does that even mean? Why not just change our beliefs? Like most of the time, what we try to do is we try to change our beliefs, and as a result, we cause this internal battle within ourselves because the mind needs proof to believe anything. If you don't supply the mind with enough evidence, it's never going to accept a new belief. Like this is what most people try to do. They try to change their limiting beliefs and they try to introduce these new beliefs and tell themselves, oh, I'm rich, even though they don't feel rich. They don't really believe that they are rich, right? Because they're all surrounded by poverty. Like if you are surrounded by poverty, you can't convince yourself you're rich. Your mind just needs some evidence. So we're going to work around that and work on upgrading your beliefs. So what I really want to begin with is a concept I've discussed before. If you haven't checked that out, make sure you click up here. This is the concept of the self-reprogramming cycle and the most powerful way to reprogram your subconscious mind. So how this essentially works, and what I really want you to remember, is there are 3 stages to belief. First of all, there is a thought or an opinion, and this thought eventually becomes and gets upgraded to belief, and this belief eventually becomes a conviction, right? So, you start with a thought of, okay, I want to start my own business, right? And then you have all of these doubts. Is it possible? Is it not? Then it goes through a process to become a belief. And then it eventually becomes a belief when you're like, oh, yes, I can start my business. I believe I can start my business. And then it actually happens for real. And then it's a conviction. It's like, oh, I am a business owner, right? But it goes through some process to go through these stages. That's what I'm going to share with you today, first of all, but also click up here to check that out. Essentially what happens is when you have this thought or an opinion initially, it needs some emotion to become a belief, right? If you look at your fears, right? You have this thought and you're afraid of something and the emotion is fear. And then the thought is, oh, I want to avoid that. I want to avoid getting fined for something, or I want to avoid becoming a terrible video maker. And then I feel some emotion like, oh shit, Quasi's bad at making videos. And then it eventually becomes a belief, right? This is what happens unconsciously as you go through this cycle. It eventually becomes a belief and you're like, shit, or I'm a bad video maker. Now it's a belief. Now what happens is this belief goes through another stage where it programs what's known as your reticular activating system, your RAS. When that happens, you unconsciously start to look for proof that you are a bad video maker. You're like, oh shit, well, I'm a bad video maker. Where's proof that I am a bad video maker? One person leaves a terrible comment on one of your videos and you're like, look, I am a bad video maker. So now your reticular activating system, like your lens, is such that it filters out any sign of good. There could be 1,000 good comments on one of your videos, but you only focus on the one bad comment, right? There could be 1,000,001 different good comments, people appreciating it, but you just get hung up on that one person who decided to put a hateful comment there. That becomes a dangerous cycle because now your RAS has become programmed with, I'm a bad video maker, and you just keep looking for that. So now the RAS looks for confirmation of this belief. When this confirmation has been found, it closes this loop. Once this loop has been closed, it becomes a conviction. But the crazy thing is you can consciously override this process by using the same methodology. Okay? Let's say I want to look for Quasi is good at making videos. Okay, so now I started the thought of Quasi's good at making videos. What is the emotion? I feel good. I feel confident at making videos. I do this every Thursday. I'm very, very confident at it. Eventually this becomes a belief. But the thing is, now you gotta look for confirmation and then your RAS will get programmed. So you gotta override this process. When you consciously do it, you gotta do it in reverse. So now you gotta go to confirmation first and then your RAS will look for it and it'll get programmed. So now you say, well, where is it that I'm a good video maker? Oh look, good comments. People liking this video. People actually getting results from it. I am a good video maker. This confirms your belief. And the more it gets confirmed, the more your RAS gets programmed, let's say, now it becomes a normal for you. Now you automatically start looking for confirmation. Now you'll do it on autopilot. Sometimes the mind will go back to the previous programming because remnants of it are there. We're going to make another video about how to get rid of these remnants. But eventually this becomes a confirmation. And when it becomes a confirmation, the belief gets consolidated. That's when it just goes to conviction. Right? It just gets upgraded to conviction. Now this has become a belief, right? So that's how you consciously override this process. But the question becomes, even going deeper into it, what are the different stages the belief moves through to become a conviction? Like, how can I go from really thinking something is impossible to believing that it could 100% be possible? So in the nitty-gritty of it, how do we move through that? And with that, what I've really realized was that there are 5 stages that a belief moves through to upgrade into conviction, into reality. So at a certain stage, forward movement doesn't occur. When you're stuck at the thought stage and it's not become a belief yet, then you're not moving forward towards that life you actually want. Okay? So what I want you to really know is that changing your beliefs, trying to change it and trying to introduce a new belief without sufficient evidence, it's futile. Don't even try to do it. You can tell yourself you're wealthy all you want, but without ample evidence, your mind will never believe it, right? So that brings me to the 5 stages of belief and how we actually move through them, okay? Stage number 1 is when you think that this is utterly impossible to do. Why I say that is because when I first started my business, right, I was thinking of, okay, well, I want to be a successful, life coach. I want to be a mindset coach. I want to help people transform their lives by changing their internal world. And I set myself the goal of, okay, I want to do 20K a month from it. But I was like, holy shit, that's impossible. Like, I haven't seen any other life coaches do that or mindset coaches do that. That's impossible, right? So I was at stage 1. Because I just couldn't believe that people could make money on the internet without having a full-time corporate job. Because my programming, my conditioning for so many years has been that. I've been taught that you must go to college, you must get a good education, get a degree, only then someone will hire you. Okay? But, now looking back at it, that seems so stupid. There are so many more skilled people who are more skilled than people who have degrees. Right? Just because you have a degree doesn't mean you're skilled. It just means that you're good at following orders and following a system. That's it. That's literally what it means. Right? So looking back at it doesn't make sense because now my belief systems have completely shifted and they've completely changed. I've upgraded them to really match what it is I want. But back then it was, wow, doing that is impossible. That's why every single effort that I took was just moving one step forward and one step back. So I knew this had to change. I had to get my mind on board. My mind couldn't accept it, right? So the next stage above that was when you look at other people making money on the internet, you're like, well, it could be possible. Stage 2 is when you get to it could be possible, okay? You can sort of conceive the possibility of it, but there are still some limitations. You're still I don't know how I would do it though. Maybe I won't be able to do it. Oh, maybe these people have something special. It is possible, but maybe you have to have something special to do it. You have to know something special. So both of these stages, stages 1 and 2, are tied into more of the thought and opinion. Okay? So this is the first stage of the belief. You start at the thought level. But then what happens is I started to look at other mindset coaches. I was like, well, Tony Robbins is like a multi-millionaire and he's doing sort of the thing I want to do. And he's making a shit ton of money. So I think it is possible. And then I moved up to stage 3. So I started to look for confirmation of where it could happen. Are other people doing it? What's different about them? There were still some hang-ups about, oh, well, how am I going to be Tony Robbins? I don't know if I could do something that he can do. But then you start to read their autobiographies and you start to see that they started off not so much different from you, right? And then it sort of helps you see that you could do it too. Then you get upgraded to the level 3, which is, you know what? It actually is possible for mindset coaches to get to 20K a month. Then you start to look at the math of it and you look at other like concretized proof. So basically what I'm trying to get to is you look for reasons why it could happen instead of why it couldn't. In stages 1 and 2, you're more focused on why it couldn't happen, on the limitations that you have. On stage 3, you start to move up to, okay, why could this happen? Well, maybe I'm not a good enough video maker to give value, or maybe I'm not knowledgeable enough, or I haven't applied this enough to know this now, but maybe I could get better over time. So that's when you start to look for the opening. Now the doorway is a little bit open, but you start to creak into it a little bit more and just slide it open a little bit more. That's when this forward movement starts happening. And then you get to, belief. And then I moved up to actually taking action, because at this level, now you have enough energy to actually, put one foot in front of the other, apply the strategies needed to help you start up a business, help you reach out and get clients, do all of that stuff, right? So that's when this energy becomes available in the first place. And it sort of starts to stick because now your focal point, your RAS, is sort of getting to the point where you're looking for reasons why it could happen. And then the next step above that is, you get your first client, and that gives you massive confirmation. Like, I released my program February 2019, exactly a year ago, and that gave me massive confirmation that, it is 100% possible. So then I moved up to, wait a second, it's happening. This is proof that it is happening. So now I'm starting to move up to conviction. And then as you keep focusing consciously more and more on the possibility of it happening, and then occasionally what will happen is you'll move back to, oh no, shit, it's not happening, right? But then you consciously shift it back to, okay, why is it possible? The reasons why it is possible. And I'm going to share with you the 3 keys that's going to help you do this. So you look for the reasons why it is possible, and you start moving more and more towards, wait a second, it's happening. Until August 2019, I hit my first 20K a month, and it actually did happen. That's when I moved up to conviction. Right? So levels 1 and 2 of the stage of belief is more associated with the actual thought of it, and it's just an opinion. It doesn't have enough energy to become a belief. But then you start to look at other people doing it, and you move up to the level of, it is possible. Right? This is why it's so important to have a mentor and be around someone that's actually done it, that's actually done what you exactly want to do, and just be around them. I would just pay to be around mentors and people who have what I want. And as a result, that kind of energy would transfer onto me. Their belief systems would transfer onto me. I'd be like a sponge near them, really absorb them, So then it went to the point of, it is possible. I moved up to belief. And then actually looking at it, seeing it for myself, trying it out for myself, it started happening. And when it started happening, that just gave me crazy conviction. Until I got to the point of, it's happened already. So this is how you move from stage 1 to stage 5 and really move from thought to actual conviction. And this is applicable for all areas of your life. but it can become difficult if you keep staying. The biggest pitfall is you keep staying stuck at this stage and you keep focusing on like why it couldn't happen. That's why you got to consciously shift that, because for years and years we've been programmed, we've been conditioned with, oh no, this belief, that belief, do this, do that, right? So you've got to really expand your comfort zone to help yourself conceive of the possibility of that it could happen, and just keep focusing on the opening rather than on the closed part of the door, right? There's two parts of that door. There's that open part and then the closed part. So the optimist would say, oh look, there's an open part, I could totally squeeze through there. The pessimist would be like, most of it's closed anyways, right? It's what you focus on. So now I want to share with you the 3 keys that's going to make this possible for your life, and really how I used it and moved up to level 5. So here are the 3 keys. Key number 1 is take a piece of paper, make 2 columns, okay? And on one column, on one hand side, write down 5 reasons why it is possible. So look at what you want to achieve. What goal do you want to achieve? And write down 5 reasons why it is possible. XYZ has done it. A lot of people are doing it. People have done similar things, something similar to what I want to do. If it's completely something new you want to start, something similar other people have done. And yeah, so on one hand side, write down 5 reasons why it would be possible. On the other, write down 5 reasons why it wouldn't be possible. So what do you currently believe that's preventing you from moving forward? What beliefs are really acting as this barrier such that you can't move forward? So for me it was, I'm not a good enough video maker. Why would someone watch my videos when there's hundreds of other people making YouTube videos and have hundreds and thousands of subscribers? What gives me the right to make these videos? All these personal limitations that I had at the time, right? And finally, what you want to do is take that second column that you've made, you want to reframe them into why it is possible. So what we want to do is reframe and upgrade these beliefs. Reframe and upgrade. So this is how you reframe and upgrade. So let's say my impossibility is, why would someone believe it? Why would someone listen to me? What gives me the right to make these videos? There are others who are better, right? Now I want to upgrade that belief. Well, now I look for that opening in the doorway. So I say, well, maybe I'm not great now, but is there a possibility that I could become better as I keep studying this more, as I keep making more videos, as I get more and more experienced? Maybe right at this moment in time, I am not. But can I become? Right? So you look at that possibility. So you answer that question and you say, well, yes, of course I can become better and better over time. That's totally doable. Right? So you keep focusing on that. You allow yourself to be what you are now and allow yourself to become better every day. Simple. And other limitations, let's say cultural, let's say societal. Oh, my parents don't want me to do this. Well, then, like with a belief like that, you always want to look for an action condition to upgrade your belief. Like, okay, well, right now I can't do this. I can't experience that. But if I did that, if I made videos consistently once a week, twice a week, there is a possibility of it happening. There is a possibility I build up a subscriber base. There is a possibility the subscriber base turns into my customers, right? So use that action condition to upgrade that belief, reframe and upgrade the impossibility into possibility. But in terms of like cultural, societal things, I'm going to give you an example. My parents were like completely against me, not doing the 9-to-5 traditional corporate career route and just going into financial freedom, starting up my own business and, doing that. So how did I upgrade that, right? So I saw that, well, if I went ahead and did what they wanted me to do, I would always resent them. My whole life, I would just resent them and I would hate them. Do I want that? Do they want that? Deep down, do they want that? Probably not. It's better I temporarily dissatisfy them and do what I love, so that in the longer term, I can look at them and say, you know what? I did what I love at the end of the day. I understand that you told me this because that's what you knew from the knowledge you had at the time. Like our parents, they want what's best for us, but they think they know what's best for us, right? But they don't. You got to walk your own path and find out what's best for you. Because you tell me what's worse. Living the rest of your life in regret, knowing that you could have done it, but you just didn't because you listened to your parents, or actually doing what you love and loving your parents both at the same time, not having that resentment, right? For me, at the end of the day, the latter was more important. Living the rest of my life in regret, that's something I would hate. Like imagine being on your deathbed and being like, shit, I could have done that. That's the worst feeling ever. So that's something that I focused on that really helped me move forward towards belief and reframing and upgrading that. So all of these things that your mind concocts, there's always a way around it. Like a very powerful way to reframe these impossibilities is to first of all look for proof where others are doing it, where others have done it. And also like find an action condition. If I do this, if I consistently do that, then I will get to this, then I will get to that. That's how you get into vibratory alignment. Okay, that's how you upgrade your beliefs. This is straight from the Reality Mastery program. So with that, I really hope this was helpful. I'm going to do a quick recap to summarize the concepts of this video. First of all, we talked about the self-reprogramming cycle, how a thought moves from thought and eventually ends up being a conviction. How you can go from Quasi is really bad at making videos, why should anyone believe in him, to having it be a belief to having it be a conviction, right? So you move from thought, energize it with emotion, it becomes a belief, then you consciously look for confirmation. So this is when you're consciously doing it. When you're unconsciously doing it, it moves automatically like this. So when you look for confirmation, it eventually becomes a confirmation, a conviction, and then this conviction works in conjunction with your RAS, and now you naturally start to look for proof where you are a good video maker, and this has become your confirmed reality. Okay? And remember that changing your beliefs and trying to introduce a new belief without any proof is futile. You can tell yourself these stories all you want, your mind will never believe it. Okay? And understand that a belief moves through 5 stages. The first and foremost stage is, it's impossible. How am I going to do this? Stage 2 is, it could be possible because I've seen some others do it. Number 3 is, it is possible. Someone who literally started from where I am right now went to where I want to be. So it's 100% possible. And stage 4 is when you actually start to do something and you start to see it become a confirmed reality for yourself, it is happening. And 5 is once it actually happens, it happens. But the crazy thing about this is once you get up to, it's happening, let's say I went from 0 to 20K a month, I was like, well, if I can get to 20K months doing this, then I can definitely get to 100K months. It's definitely doable. So then I moved up to that, right? So now this has become my baseline. Number 3, it is possible has become my baseline. So now I just operate from 3 to 5, 3 to 5. Going from 20K to 80K months, I was at 20K, I was like, well, 80K months is possible. It is possible. And then it's happening, right? Because I went from 20 to 80K the next month. And then 100K, the same thing. You never go back to 2 and 1 because now it's literally become a belief. Your RAS is sort of programmed with this now because it's also a conviction, right? Because you've achieved all of this once you've moved up to level 3. Finally, to really conclude this video, the 3 keys to using this and actually achieving success from this is, first of all, write down 5 reasons why it would be possible, 5 reasons why it wouldn't be possible, why it's currently impossible, and understand that this is current, okay? It's not possible right now because of this, but could it change? Look for that opening in the doorway and really expand it. So one of the most common misconceptions is, I can't do this because there are others who are doing this, and why would someone listen to me? Well, I'm not at that level now, but could I be at that level if I did this? Giving yourself that action condition. So number 3 is you want to reframe and upgrade the impossibility into actual possibility. So you want to bring it into why it is possible, right? You want to tie those loose ends and change that channel of why it's impossible to why it is. And with that, I conclude this video. Thank you so much for watching. I sincerely hope this was helpful, and I hope this actually made sense, and I hope you'll start using this. Okay, let me know in the comments below what you thought of this. Leave me a comment. I'd love to see that, and also any questions that you have. And I'm super excited to announce that I mentioned before that the free spots for the one-to-one consult have opened up with me. If you're interested, make sure you click on the link in the description below to sign up, and let's see if we're a good fit to work together in the program. Please only sign up if you're serious about working together in the program, if you're serious about leveling up your life and taking it to the next level. If you're a professional looking to take your career to the next level, or you want to get to financial freedom, start up something of your own, and you feel that you're stuck and you've been in the same pattern, the same ways of thinking, same ways of being for a very long time, then this is for you. If you're an entrepreneur who is stuck at a certain revenue level in your business, this is for you. If you're a high performer, if you're a creative, this is for you as well. So make sure you click on the link in the description below. We're fully booked up, so we have a couple of spots available. Make sure you snag your spot really, really quick. And also, if you want to take advantage of our free Facebook group, that's available as well. The link for that is in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time. Peace.